Everyone talks about transformation like it's a sprint. Reinvent yourself. Just upgrade your mindset. Change your habits, change your life. But no one really talks about the cost of that change. Not the motivational cost, the psychological one. Because sometimes growth doesn't feel exciting. It feels exhausting. That exhaustion has a name: identity fatigue. This is what happens when you're not just changing what you do, but who you are. And your brain, wired for consistency and self-preservation, starts quietly freaking out. There are two kinds of change: habit level and identity level. Habit level change is simple. You add a 10-minute walk. You drink more water. You stop checking your phone before bed. It's mostly behavioral. You can plug it into a to-do list. Identity level change? That's deeper. It's the shift from I'm lazy to I'm disciplined. From I avoid conflict to I speak up for myself. From I'm not good enough to I belong. And while that kind of change looks empowering on paper, inside, it sets off alarms. Because your identity, even the parts you hate, gives you psychological safety. It's familiar, predictable. Even if it keeps you small, at least it's a version of you your brain knows how to keep alive. So when you try to become someone new, you're not just building, you're also dismantling. You're tearing down old beliefs, old coping mechanisms, maybe even the way people have always related to you. That's when the friction begins. Because growth doesn't happen in one clean step. You don't wake up one day as your new self. You spend weeks, sometimes years, in the middle zone, where the old version of you no longer fits, but the new version hasn't fully settled. And that middle is where identity fatigue lives. That in-between space creates a pressure most people don't expect. You're trying to make new choices, but your brain is still wired for the old ones. You say something bold and immediately question it. You set a boundary and feel guilty for hours. You take up more space, but feel like an imposter in your own body. You're negotiating every step with your own nervous system. That's what makes identity fatigue different from burnout. Burnout comes from overdoing. Identity fatigue comes from outgrowing. And the hardest part, no one else sees that work. From the outside, it looks like you're just being better. But inside, it feels like you're rebuilding yourself in real time, with no manual. So here's what's actually happening beneath identity fatigue. In clean psychological terms, you're doing three hard things at once. You're unlearning the old identity, you're rehearsing a new one, and you're doing it in a world that still expects the old you. So, what helps when you're in the middle of identity fatigue? Stop trying to prove the new identity with big dramatic changes. You don't need to become a whole new person overnight. Your system doesn't need pressure. It needs consistency it can trust. That means doing small things the same way over and over until they stop feeling risky. Things like making one new decision the same way every day, setting one clear boundary, and holding it even if it's awkward. Saying the thing even when your voice shakes, and letting it stand. You're showing your nervous system, this is who we are now, and nothing bad happened. That's how identity change sticks. Not because it feels magical, but because it becomes normal. And here's one more thing people forget. Even if you've changed, the people around you may still respond to the version you used to be. Not out of malice, just out of habit. And that can slow you down. So make it easier on your system. Spend more time in spaces where you don't have to justify your growth. Let people see the new you, even if they don't know what to do with it. That's what makes identity fatigue so real. You'll know you've moved through it when you stop trying to be different. And just are. No proving, no performance. Just a quiet, steady feeling of, this is me now, and I don't have to explain it to nobody. This is Soul State Studio, where we turn deep psychology into real, usable insight. We're just starting out, and your subscribe helps us grow. If this landed for you, check out the other videos on our channel. There's more waiting.